Record. Cool. So, have you done any tours in the past?
Tours like guided tours.
Yeah, tours or like even a friend took you around or like anything like that. But guided tours, yeah. Have you done any guided tours?
Um, Guided. Yes, I did one actually the other day.
Huh. Okay.
Well, like,
Can
boat.
can you tell me a bit more about it?
Yeah, so I hired a private boat with two skippers, like local guys, and they just sort of took us to a few different islands and gave us the history and stuff. But it was like kind of like a yeah, you could do what you want. Like it was your own chill time on the boat, but they would drive it for you and explain where you were and stuff. It's quite nice.
Hmm. So do you like the tours that are like more like you could do what you want and they're there to
Yeah,
tell you?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Interesting. Let me just pull up some more of the questions here. And like if there's anything you would say about like the whole like tour industry or like all anything high level you could tell the team, like what would you say? Is there anything that you think would be neat if it existed out there? Like super open question. Like it's might even be too open to answer.
Yeah.
But if there's anything there, any
Um,
ideas?
mm,
Nothing comes to mind? That's fine.
you know what would be good would be like a tour that was. So you say it's more like upmarket. This thing you're doing.
Hmm.
Because I really like the idea of like going around and having like drinks, but I wouldn't like the idea of like bar crawls with where you're just with loads of young people and it's just a bit like backpacky and gross. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe something like that, like
Hmm.
not
So so
you know
like so
like
like
cocktails.
yeah. Yeah, okay. I see that. So more like still a guided kind of like cocktail experience, like a bar hop, but like
Yeah, but
less but more
more
well
civilized,
kept. Yeah, more well kept, you know. And I guess you'd say that. Okay. Um and
nicer drinks,
so say again, what was that? I missed that.
nicer drinks, like
Uh-huh.
nice quality rather
Hmm.
than sticky.
Okay. So can you walk me through like maybe an example of something like that would be nice? That'd be nice. I know like in Canada, like because we've just like legalized weed, now there's a lot of like weed tours too, actually. So like kind of like cannabis experiential dining tours. So you try out different strains and then you do food pairings with it that go well together. So that's been really like kind of like blowing up here, and that's been really interesting because it's like you get to try really high quality premium cannabis, and then you also get to try food pairings that supposedly go well with the cannabis because cannabis apparently it brings out your senses a bit on the taste end. So I don't know, something like that. But like, okay, so let's go through this cocktail idea, like bar hopping cocktail idea. Like, what would you imagine it being like in the perfect scenario? Like, who's guiding it? Who's leading you through it? Um, what are the places that you're going to? Yeah, like what
Like,
is that gonna look like?
okay, so say if so as I'm a Londoner, I know all my spots that I like to go. But if I was gonna be like, I'm very particular about where I like to go as well. So
Of
say
course.
I find in Paris or New York somewhere I don't know, but I so say you could get sort of like you'd kind of give someone the idea of what you like, and they could sort of curate an evening for you, like take
Mm,
you to those places. Because I would have no idea, but I'd want to go to all those sorts of vibey places that I like, but I wouldn't know where to start.
hmm. So kind of like
Or
Yeah.
Mm.
So kind of like instead of like they give you an itinerary, more of like they learn about you and then they make something for you. That's
Yeah.
a neat idea. That's actually a neat idea. Huh. Huh.
Oh wait, sorry, my dog wants away.
Yeah, take your
Sorry, my dog. Let him
time.
out.
Nice. Okay. Um, what's his name?
Yeah, like Bobby.
Robbie.
Or
Uh,
if say, boat idea, you know how I was on the boat. Maybe if they had like I suppose that'd be quite expensive though, if you had like a bar on the boat or something. Like if you were going to do sightseeing with drinks, that'd be very different than yeah.
Imagine sightseeing drunk. So basically anything with alcohol. You're telling me any
No,
experience, you just like add
it might
alcohol to
be different.
it. That
Um,
that's Natalie's filter, just plus alcohol. I think
yeah.
um,
Alright. Here's shut the door. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Come here. Wait.
hey Bobby.
Hi.
Oh, oh,
Bless you.
it's
Bless
happy.
you. Yeah, he's a bit bored. Bless you. Whoa, what? He's jumping up now. What's that? Don't know why we talk to dogs like that.
Hmm. Almost like we talk to babies and dogs. Talk to them the same.
Probably can shut the fuck up.
Um,
Yeah, so
so next question, can you walk me through how you currently plan and book travel? There's about like five more questions, should take another like 10, 15 minutes.
I would I would probably start by looking at flights. I'd
Hmm.
see well, no, first of all I'd look at what time of year I was going, what was hot, where the
Hmm.
weather was. Then I would look at flights. Um, I'd probably usually like find the cheapest flights I can because I know you can get them so cheap, and I don't like paying loads if you can get them cheap. And
Hmm.
I don't care about my if I'm just going to. It would depend how long I was traveling for, but usually I just book like flights that are like 2 hours, so I don't really care who it's
Uh-huh.
with.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
and then I would
Bobby wants your attention.
then I would shoving a toy in my um, then um yeah, I'd pick which flight I wanted. Like that would depend on the weather and the cheapest flights. Then I'd probably I always prefer staying somewhere self catered um, and in the centre because I don't really wouldn't want to be in a resort with other people and that.
Hmm.
Um, and I like a bit more of like an authentic experience. So to stay in someone else's place in the
Hmm.
centre of town or right by the beach. I
Hmm.
like being everything. Um, so quite yeah, I'd usually plan it like that. I wouldn't
Hmm.
really, and I wouldn't book one until I had booked the other. So
Right.
I would plan it quite a lot, but I'd think I
Okay.
would think about where I could, probably where I could get.
Cool. And then
Depends
like
on the holiday. Depends if I'm booking for like a sunny holiday or a city holiday.
yeah. And how do you go about like looking for things to do? Like what does that process kind of look like for you?
Um, I don't know. So when I went to Berlin actually, because I was going to Berlin quite a lot and Germany quite a lot for auditions and stuff, and I would just I'd just wander around during the day and I'd just see what looked cool. I don't know. One time I went to one of the films. Like I just wandered into one of the cinemas, and then I went to like a bar next to it, and I made friends with all these people. I ended up in their part.
Yeah.
Oh, the I don't know which kino it was, and it's called the Old Cinema Cafe or something. Do you know it?
What's it called? Or what's
The old the Cinema Cafe.
Cinema Cafe? Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, it's like the big in
Like
the film community in Berlin.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the balloon bar, and everyone was smoking inside. I was just so cool. It was so random. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then
It's so Berlin. Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
if I'm alone, like I just wander around and I see what looks good. But if
Mm-hmm.
I was in a when you feel like you all want to make sure that you're doing what you want and everyone's having a good time, you just maybe more. Yeah, I'd probably just put it in a search engine and things. Like maybe if it was on a near beach, like beach bars near
Yeah.
me, or
So you're kind of like a neighborhood like wanderer type of person. Like you go and then you kind of like just see what's up. Like you're pretty
yeah,
spontaneous, you know? Like
yeah,
you don't like a lot of I mean not a lot, but you got some people who like search up like, cafes and stuff like that. Like I'm interviewing and that they kind of like really go into the research, but you're kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna check out this park or check out this cafe and kind of see what goes, you know?
it's all about time
Yeah.
there.
Nice. True.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. And so which do you follow any like creators that or influencers that kind of like inspire you to travel? Like, do you like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that Instagram in general would inspire me to travel.
Uh-huh. Okay.
If following travelers, I'd be following people from all around, and you kind of I don't know, but yeah, traveling. Yeah, I think there's so many people, so many of these creators these days travel all the time because they get paid to go here, there, and everywhere. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they just want to go. Um,
And so like, is there anyone that comes to mind, any influencers that come to mind that kind of inspire these travels? Like, what are your favorite kind of influencers or like people that you follow, like fashion bloggers or photographers or like I don't know, actors or whatnot? Like anyone comes to mind?
yeah, I love Matilda Jeff. You know her?
Matilda Bobby, Matilda
Matilda DJERF.
DJERF, Matilda Jerf. Okay.
I love her.
Oh, nice. Her fashion's like really like simple and clean.
Yeah, really someone clean. She loves
Hmm.
like the everyday aesthetic. You know?
A lot of like really like natural photos, like very she's more on the candid side, which is cool, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And very everyday, like you said. Huh.
Yeah. So she
Okay.
makes me want to go where she is.
Say again?
Makes me want to go where she is. Like I don't know if she travels that much, but
Uh-huh. Okay. So would you say it's like she doesn't have to be a travel influencer, but because you like her, you would follow her, or like wherever she goes, you kind of like follow her choices type of thing? Like,
yeah, like she makes things look so nice wherever she
hmm,
goes. You're like, oh, that looks nice. I want to do that. Yeah.
huh, cool. Cool.
'Cause I don't
Yeah.
actually know a lot of these travel influencers because their photos are so like fake and edited and like you'd get it on stock images that I don't really
Yeah.
feel that I'm there, and that doesn't make me go, oh, I want to go there. It's just such a generic photo, and it's amazing photography, but
Mhm,
it doesn't make me want to go. Whereas her pictures, her little candid iPhone pictures, I think
mhm,
they make me feel a lot more like I'd.
mhm.
Yeah, I just don't like these because I mean, there's actually this guy who used to live around the corner from me. He's called Jacob, and that's his Instagram handle, Jacob.
Uh-huh.
And he's going out with Aggie, so they're Jacob and Aggie, and that's their Instagram handles. But yeah, they travel everywhere all the time, but it just looks so like
Like
I,
stock image. I know what you
yeah,
mean. Like basic in a way,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's like that's like another crowd, you know? Like I feel like it's more a bit more of like a kind of like mainstream crowd that like appreciates the aesthetics, and it's like really like you said the visuals are really nice, right? Like the visuals are, I mean, they're not, that's subjective too, but they're very like clean and like I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Um Anything you would say suggest to a team like the app building team, the Rove team, about building like a world-class travel marketplace? Like how anything you got to say about that? Like how do they build something amazing, if
They
anything at all?
definitely Instagram like makes people do anything. And there's really like I feel like now more than ever there's just so many trends and a place that would curate all of those things together.
Hmm.
You know, had access to quickly go, oh, that's how I do that, and I can go this sort of place, and it's not always obvious to everyone how people do things or where they would go, and but the sort of places that people are going with Instagram, they are everywhere, and there are these places, and people call them like Instagram places, even though it's just the fucking place.
Yeah.
Uh,
Huh.
yeah, so include I don't know what I'm saying here, but definitely
That's okay.
Instagram a lot.
Use
Um,
Instagram a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
because even it's not just like the young generation using Instagram. I say the younger generation using TikTok, but like
Hmm.
everyone using Instagram.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, if that was all sort of put, if you could book an Instagram holiday, do you know
Huh.
what I mean? Instagram holiday. If it was targeted like that, people would do it rather than going on Booking.com because a lot of people
Interesting.
is that are quite aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
Because people aren't influencers, they still want to go somewhere that's visual and they can get a good picture, and it feels like they're in the right place and they're where it's
Uh-huh.
cool.
Uh-huh.
So I think people still want to do that. So if you could book like the it holiday or do the it thing
Uh-huh.
here, it thing,
Uh-huh.
um,
Instagram holidays. That's a good one. That's a good
curate,
one. I feel like a lot of people would go for that. Yeah.
they work, they really work. People would go crazy for
For anything that
what's
looks nice.
and yeah, and what looks nice. We'll get a
Uh-huh.
lot of
Yeah. True. Okay. I'm gonna stop recording.